So Garso needed to go home. I mean, again, just following in the order of the exact way I wanted it to happen. Garso going home. Um, I think I said it when I put his name out there. I think he's an extremely underrated player this season. I thought he played very well. I think he's good at challenges. Like, I respect his game. So no hard feelings there. Just it was time for him to go. And that's that.
I mean, I think he saw it coming. I mean, I don't think that anyone was at a certain point when they were like, when y'all let us back into the Zoom together, when we could all talk together. I think he kind of caught on. He was asking people to use him as a number. But for me and how I'm perceiving things, I have my numbers, and I've had my numbers damn near since the swap, and I didn't want to potentially rock the boat in that situation because the boat's going to be rocked a few times today. So I would rather know everyone that I'm going into today with and figure out my best way to finally sit at the end.
Austin had a little something in his pocket. He has the legacy advantage. So it is yours. The last time it can be played is final six.
Oh, that is so good. I wish I was better right now, but
So you have this in your pocket for tomorrow's tribal council. You can only play it for yourself. You cannot play it on anybody else. So in the event you win final six immunity, you cannot play this for someone else.
Okay. Oh my God. I love him. I really didn't want to vote for him, but he had, I mean, based on the conversations I had, I just knew it was gonna be him, and trying to vote for Zucker again would ruin any chance I had at swinging him tomorrow. So,
well, good luck in the final five then.
Oh my God, thank you. Oh my God. But I was so happy that he gave me the legacy advantage because I think I'm in trouble this round. So I haven't told anyone about it. I'm not gonna like plan on I'm not planning on telling anyone about it either. So yeah, I'm also scared since like no idols and advantages have been played so far that this could be an advantage get in round or idol get in. So I could easily be on the wrong side of that if I'm not a part of it.
So a little bit sneaky of a move last night. Talking to one of my allies, Madeline, and she asked me if I saw the clue during Flip Cup, extreme, extra extreme Flip Cup. And I said, no, I was too busy and winning. I didn't see it. But her being, my number one, and I'm definitely her number one now. I mean, if I had any doubt before, she shared the clue with me. And I'm looking at it, and she said she like couldn't solve it. She was struggling with it, and she's had it since earlier today. So I take a look at it, and I'm like, hold on, like I know this. It was the order of how people were voted out, and it was certain letters in each person's name. And I just did it real quick in about 10 minutes, and it said end the scramble. So I sent the message over to production, and I got an advantage to end the scramble after a challenge. So if we go to a challenge here, it ends, I can say, hey, let's end the scramble, let's jump right into the tribal council. That's what happens. Found out that Maddie had the order of who went home wrong, so her scramble was a little bit messed up. But I did tell her about me solving it. I wouldn't feel right if I did, but technically, it's a little bit sneaky maybe. But hey, if I didn't get it, maybe she wouldn't have, and someone else would have. So I'm sitting here at the I'm out to eat basically at this bar, and you sent that, and I looked at it, and I was like, okay, like I know, like I understand what's going on, and I started unscrambling it, and you said you went down. We started going down the list, and you had the one wrong. So like I was already like past it at that point.
What time did you submit it?
Well, it was 10:35 or 10:30, so 5 minutes before you. But It's useless.
It's just end the scramble, right?
It's useless. Yeah, it was end the scramble.
Yeah, it's just so like if someone was on the hot seat, they could like cut it all off, right?
It basically, after the challenge, you can no scramble rate the travel.
Oh.
And I was trying to think of situations where we could use that, but I maybe, but
You swear it wasn't an idol or anything, right?
I will read it to you. I would show you it, but I cannot show you it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you have found a scramble round nullifier. To play this, you will announce it at the end of a challenge when played. It will eliminate the scramble round between the challenge and the tribal when everyone will be forced to go to tribal council immediately. The last time you can play this is when there are 5 people left in the game.
Okay. Well, at least nobody else has it.
I felt
Like
I
a
was
dirt bag? Okay, so yesterday, as we were going into one of the challenges, there was a change in Alex's name on Zoom, and it said, message Alex for a clue. And so I messaged Alex for it and got a clue about rites of passage and thinking about all the people who have fallen before us to get here. And then there was like a code to use initials in their names to figure out a phrase. And the phrase was end the scramble. And I, playing like a common newbie, shared the clue with Simmons last night, and then he submitted it 5 minutes before me. So he has the end the scramble advantage, which will help us today if something wild happens, like someone comes back in the game. But the funny thing is the 3 of us were just on a call, and I told Austin that I found it and we could use it, and I'd use it for us. So Austin kind of thinks I found it, but like everything, it's been a team effort, I suppose.
I think the order that I would like things to go, and it might line up just the way it has for the past 5 votes. Karen, Zucker. This last one gets a little tricky, let me tell you. It might ruin my game if I get to the finals and I don't take Madeline. I think I've played a loyal game, and I don't know if it would hurt if I cut her at the end or if people look at it as a good move. That's the thought process. I mean, I did it before at Exile Island with Austin, and it cost me the game. But I realized that I think I've played a better game than Madeline, but she's very good at talking, and I think she could talk her way to a couple votes. She's definitely made a lot of relationships with people. She's a good social player. But I think in terms of gameplay itself, I think I've played the better game. It's just a matter of if I can explain that very well to the jury, because I know she'll explain it very well. So ideally, I want to go to the finals with her and Austin, but also somewhat ideally, I wouldn't be mad if they voted her out before that. And I would not. It's going to be close. I don't know yet. I don't know. We'll see. Definitely Karen and Zucker first. Duke it out at the end here. Figure it out. I might be the one that goes home. There's no way I don't catch a few votes today unless I win out the immunity challenges. But that's going to be, we'll see. I was in a call at the last like scramble.
Yeah.
Like before we voted out Garsow. And it was Austin and no, it was Zucker and Andrew, I think.
Okay.
And we were talking about like, okay, who's it got to be? And we all agreed it needed to be Garsow, right?
Yeah.
Which that's what everyone pretty much already said. And then I think it might have been me that brought it up, and I was like, I'll be honest, I am a little bit concerned about Karen.
Yeah.
And both of them immediately said like, yeah, like honestly, it's a toss up between her and Garsow at this point, just because she is very dangerous. And then I was like, well, Garzow's been pretty consistently good at challenges, like can't really risk it, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think everybody understands that I mean, I don't know what you're thinking, but like at least from what I heard from everybody else, like they know that Karen like needs to go.
Yeah, I think she has a very good story if she
Right.
gets to the end.
she's like friends with these people. Like
Landslide it. She will landslide it because she will say
no
that she broke the alliance.
there's no chance. Yeah, there's no
And
chance.
like anyone could say that, right? Like, and if it's
Right.
basically if something happens and like one of us loses and gets votes out or like idled out or like anything, the third person sitting there will say that they broke the alliance.
So I had, mostly some back and forth message talks with people. I did get on a call with Maddie late last night, just because I knew it would be hard this morning to get one before the game started.
How are you feeling about tomorrow?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, just in general, like definitely nervous because it's like we're getting down to the very end.
Yeah.
My goal is, again, just as I said before, really just wanting to find that group. Now at this point, we're down to 6 that I just want to ride to the end with, because it's like really not much other, I guess, like things that can come up that will make the people you want to work with, be voted out. So I feel like if we can get the numbers on our side, I think just from hearing kind of like you say how kind of the game has gone for you, obviously, how it's gone for me. Mm-hmm. I don't perceive us as people that the others may necessarily view as like super big threats. I feel like at this point, there are players out there who have, either won this game before or, have made their mark in this game by winning key challenges and being, in with a group of people that are people that, ideally, if they were in the end, I don't think we're going to win against them. What I hope is that the kind of what I perceive to be the main targets, right? Karen, previous winner, Simmons, challenge threat. Those would be maybe the 2 people to go at 6 or 5, depending on how the immunity, challenges shake out. Ideally, final 3. I've had good conversation with Andrew. We kind of are on the same page that we're not the most obvious in terms of having like that good story to tell at the end. Again, I've kind of perceived you and I from the time we swapped together as kind of being, the not the ones that are going to kind of stir the pot, the ones that are going to kind of be thought of as these social and strategic threats like, Lex and Kylie. So I wanted to work with you from that point on because I feel like we both have a very good case if we got to the end with one another and maybe one other person that is not again deemed in that way, that we have a good case respectively to win the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Especially because like, and I know this is kind of just being a dead horse at this point, but like I spent most of the time on the bottom at the pre-merge. You've never been on the bottom merge. You've just been always a target merge. Yeah. I feel like the way that we talk to people, the way that we've been a part of the same. Correct me if I'm wrong. We've voted the same since the merge.
Oh yeah.
And we have gotten out every single person that everyone else perceived as a threat.
So I feel like having one of the other there would give each of us a better chance against any combination of other people. Again, there's a case to be made for Austin going to the end, kind of having been on the bottom early in the game, but that could also be used against us in that he was at the bottom and he worked his way to the end. So, that's something that maybe is deemed valuable by the jury. And Maddie, same thing, very based off her first game, very early boot. So hadn't really made a lot of traction in that game to kind of have people use against her in this game. So there is maybe some merit there, but again, that same underdog story, not quite sure what the jury is going to value. So, that's my ideal scenario is having Andrew in it with some combination of maybe Maddie or Austin, just depending on how the rest of the game shakes out and what I perceive the jury may be thinking in terms of what they value most out of the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I took what Garsow was saying to heart, which is like, make big moves. Like, it's like, yeah, but the big move is obviously aligning yourself with the right people and getting yourselves to the end. And from there, if I feel like if we all have basically an even playing field of who we're up against, then, it just comes down to, what the jury's perception is and how we answer their questions. So I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of my mentality.
Yeah, I would say that kind of feels the same way. Yeah, that I feel. And I know tomorrow is going to be very, very quick and very scrambly is what I imagine. So I'm just focused on I know I don't have a great track record in any of the party games, the other ones, the weird ones that nobody has done before. I can tackle those ones, but if we get another flip cup, I'm gonna flip. That's for sure.
Yeah. That I know. It's like there was a couple where I was like, okay, I'm getting myself, fairly close, but then there were some where I was just like, this is so embarrassing.
I know.
But you know what? It is what it is. We don't do this for a living. So, and there's got to be someone that's the worst of the bunch. So I'll let it be me.
Yeah.
But is there anyone that you feel also is kind of in the same, I guess, I can't think of the word, just like in the same realm in terms of just like not being viewed as that big threat that we maybe want to try and work with to get ourselves to that end point of the game?
Yeah, it is a bit tricky, right? when you look at everyone, I mean, it's so interesting because depending how you spin it, everyone can be a big threat. So Karen, previous winner, that's moved basically all the way through without being seen almost, which is pretty darn impressive, always impressive. Andrew has a pretty good flip story in his tribe swap. Sorry, not a flip, pardon me. In his tribe swap, my understanding is that he navigated that really well after being on the bottom. And I know the first few votes weren't so easy for him on our tribe. And then I mean, Simmons, of course, who's driving pretty hard and winning a lot of challenges. And then Austin too. I like the fact that he could come back after being voted out, put everything behind him, find another route through, and then be able to work with people post merge and just put everything behind him. It's so tricky, right? Because it depends how people spin their story.
Yeah.
And it goes, back to the big threat thing. So I'm thinking a lot of my decisions will be based on who wins what and where there's opportunities there. I don't know. Do you feel the same way about like the threat level, or is there anyone that's
no, I definitely agree in terms of just everything you said being the case. Like it all matters, obviously, who and how, that person wins immunity tomorrow, and obviously the conversations that we have. But I think that just in general, like if Karen were to get to the end, it's like she was the only winner. She made it to the end again. That's a big statement she can make that no one else can. It's like, I'm here, and you should have had, I should be no way in this position, but I am. And that's there's respect there.
And a lot of her allies were picked off today, and she still, even without their protection, was able to move through, especially the final rounds, which is pretty impressive.
So there's obviously the threat there. Simmons again, in terms of if he doesn't win immunity at 6 tomorrow, that might be a big opportunity to make sure he doesn't run the table the rest of the way, because if he does, again, he's got a very good case. And people like Austin, Andrew, who maybe have more of that underdog story, right? That's something that's also a big selling point for a jury. So I think basically bottom line is we're on the same page. So we'll kind of feel out how tomorrow goes, and we'll have the opportunity to catch each other up, because I think people don't expect us to work together, we can make it, both of us can make it to the end. I mean, I think we both are happy with that, and no matter what. And this morning I did catch up with Andrew, and I had a conversation with Karen, really just trying to assess what their mindset is going into the final six. So, you know, I feel from my position as of now that I'm not considered at the very top of people's lists, even though my name has come up at, if not every, then essentially every tribal council. I've never felt that I was the one to go. You know, I've had my hidden idol since the very beginning of the merge. And if I really felt that I was the vote for that round, I would have played it. So I've really put the trust in the people that I've worked with each round to make sure that even though my name is out there, that I'm not the main target. So, you know, I'm hoping that stays that way, where ideally I won't have to play my idol, where I can kind of reveal at the very end, you know, that was my game plan, was to ideally not use it, just to not have it be in the hands of someone else that can mess up some of the plans. So we'll see how it goes, but I feel at this point in time fairly well positioned in the game.
Yeah, my plan for today is, for better or for worse, to commit to my 3 and make it happen. So Austin, Simmons, and we've been working together this whole time. And I think the 3 of us have the best story together if we end up in the final. So it's all about making sure that the others don't get immunity and that we hold strong to it. But I know that as soon as we don't get immunity, Simmons and Austin will probably be targeted, which means that last night, what I was working on was making sure that I'm connected with Karen, because I know she feels a bit on the outs, and then also having some time with Andrew as well as Zucker, since we hadn't had time to connect yesterday before the mini.
I talked to Maddie a little bit, you know, nothing crazy, just kind of us getting excited for today and being nervous. I talked to Zucker this morning. He kind of said that I'm his person right now. I would say that I probably believe that, because he's the last person. Oh, I guess he's also kind of tied to Austin from their OG tribe. Um, I talked to Karen. Karen said she's at peace with whatever happens. I'm sure a part of her believes that, but she's not checking out. She wants to sit at the end, and she said that she would love to sit at the end next to me. And I'm like, okay, cool. I've kind of gone through how I perceive everyone's stories.
Who, I don't know. I don't think there's anyone obvious of the 6 of us that if they make it to the end, they will win. I think we've kind of already eliminated all those people. Unless you have a different idea of that.
I mean, I think I'm in more of I think everyone put in the right situation can win, just because let's start with Austin, who has finished 3rd and 4th in the 2 times that he's played. And if he gets 3rd and 4th, gets voted out first in this game and makes it all the way back and wins, he could have a compelling case.
If everything works out, Karen should be the first one going home. Zucker and Andrew both are on the ropes of myself and Simmons believing that we wanted to thrive in exile alliance. And whether they believe that or not, it's what I hold value to. So they would feel no pressure into eliminating Karen and then trying to seem like they want to pull in Maddie after that to take out one of us. If I have my way, Karen will be gone. And then I would like Zucker to be gone. He's thrown out Simmons' name quite a bit and mentions of maybe my name here and there. And I would leave then Andrew for last. He's going to try to scramble with Maddie, and I think we're going to finally cut the cord.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going.
You are the only winner here. And if you are able to run the table and get to the end again, that is a compelling case. If Mike Simmons, who got cut off in 3rd place right before final tribal in our season, can win challenges again and actually sit at the end this time, that's a compelling story. Maddie was pre-merge in her season, started on the top in this game, and then all of a sudden, you know, is in the bottom and still finds her way through. And then me, merge boot, starting at the bottom of this game. And I would say that, you know, I've always known what was going on in this game. So I feel like It's the exact
Yeah.
opposite where everyone is a threat right now to sit at the end because it'll really just turn into who can speak better.
Untouchable allies are gone. So Ashley and Kylie, I don't think I could have ever voted out. So going into the final 6, I'm kind of up to Sandra Diaz trying this, and as long as it's not me, I don't care who goes. Obviously, I would prefer it to not be Andrew and Simmons, because I've been working with them the whole game. But like I said, if it's not me, I don't really care. So I just want to make it to the end. I feel at this point I'm 2 immunities away from winning. So I feel like I'm going to need to win 5 and 4 immunity, or chances are not great of me making it to the end.
Do I think that people are going to try to target you within these next 2 votes? Yes. No one has said it. They probably still perceive me and you at this point as, so if they're going to say it, they're not going to say it to me before we start. They'll wait until we start before they start saying things. But I do feel like people are going to try to come after you.
I feel that way too.
Because
that's why I'm nervous. But and I don't know if anyone, like, I know you've been a good ally, but I also don't know if you want to sit next to me at the end.
I spent all night trying to figure out who I want to sit next to at the end.
Yeah.
That's why I have all of these. I made all these stories up in my head about everyone's journey to the end. So it's like I have sat there and figured out who would be the best. So like I don't want you to take this as me saying, oh yeah, I've only thought about the pluses and minuses for you. It's for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hear that. And like, I'm not going to be offended if you decide that not the route you want to go. But I would sit. Yeah. I'm totally willing to sit at the end of you. I'll sit at the end of whoever wants to sit next to me. And I don't know that there's a long line of people that want to, but I would be happy to sit next to you.
And I appreciate, and I would say that if the 2 of us were to sit next to each other, I would feel great about it, only because in my head we've been working together since night 0. And so if we were able to pull that off, you know what? I can be content with that.
I kept in communication with it's no secret, I think, to some people at this point, but my 3 of myself, Simmons, and Maddie. I think we all agreed that last night, at least that's what people said, it was a long day, and I think we're going to take a break from the game. I don't believe that happened on the other side. I think people were realizing that the 3 of us are starting to be a major factor, and it wouldn't surprise me if those 3 were coming together and trying to form their own set of 3 to prevent us. People are literally eating out of our hands at this point. They have no idea we exist. It's hilarious. Zucker and Andrew think we have a 4-way exile alliance. That shit's not happening. Karen's on the outs. Now all we have to do is make sure that none of them get immunity. Like, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah. I swear to God, I thought Zucker was like jury managing me in my whole call with him last night.
Might have been. The thing that it doesn't bother me about Zucker. He's doing what he has to do, but like, I feel like he's trying to sneak in right here at the end to like, oh, Exile Island. Well, he messaged me and was like, oh, he's like, I'm good with like the Exile Island dudes. Like, he said, we all worked to get here. We all worked together to get here. And I'm like, did we?
It really worked. It really worked.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just say it to you. I am like fully committed to this, but I also realize that our names are going to be out there like a hot topic today. So I just want you all to know that like those names are not coming from me. And I am fully aligned with the ideal order that we want to do things if we can. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Yep. I'm all for it.
My personal opinion is Karen has to go first. Whatever happens after that, either way, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah.
Just if she wins this immunity or she sneaks through a vote and she wins her way into the finals, she sweeps
She'll
it.
win. She'll win. Yeah. Yeah.
She's literally like best friends with those people on the jury. So like, no.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the final day of DCP Survivor All-Stars Rites of Passage. By the end of today, half of you will join the jury.
And the other half will have made it as far as they can in this game and have a chance to plead their case as to why they should be crowned the All-Star of the All-Stars.
The same rules outlined yesterday still apply for today. So at this point, there will be no messaging until today is over.
You have all fought so hard and so far, but the journey is not quite over yet. Once again, immunity is back up for grabs.
All right, DCP All-Stars Final 6. Let's pause a moment, take this in. We've had 93 players play in a DCP game. Nearly half of our players confirmed interest in playing this season. We've had dozens of applications. We cast 18 All-Stars, and you are the final 6. And if you thought you could go to a final tribal council without competing in this challenge, you're out of your mind. Even though he has been voted out of the game, his impact still remains. It's time for Jeremy's challenge.
Here's how this works. You'll simultaneously build a stack of cups and roll a die. Starting with one cup in your hand, you will roll the die until you roll a 1. You will then add a second cup and roll the die until you roll a 2. You'll continue to add cups and roll the die until you roll a 6, at which point you must place a 7th cup on the top of your stack. The first player to stack all 7 cups and hold the stack for 5 seconds wins immunity and guarantees themselves a spot in the final 5. Okay, our favorite final 6 immunity challenge, Jeremy's challenge. Survivors ready. Go.
You're good.
You're good, Maddie.
Good.
Andrew, you're good.
Got it.
Yep. Wait, Karen, underneath.
Sorry.
Oh, yep.
Sorry,
Make
I've never
sure
done it
cups
from
are
the
being
bottom.
added underneath. Austin has to restart.
Oh,
Oh, Maddie drops.
Maddie drops. Maddie's starting over.
You're good.
Andrew, make sure that I can see the die, please.
Austin resetting.
But when you roll.
Yep, you're good,
Karen's
Austin.
wobbly.
Good.
Oh no.
You need a. Did you roll a 3?
Okay, Karen, you're good.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought I was going for a
Andrew
No, you
rolled
need
a
a
4.
Yeah,
But
I
he
think
needs
you
a
need
3.
Yeah.
Okay, you're good.
Oh, well, Andrew has to restart.
Can you adjust your cups or no?
Nope.
No.
Austin, you're good.
Sorry, this is just a matter of okay.
There it is. Karen has to reset.
All right, you're good.
Zucker has to reset.
Good, Simmons.
Greg, is that a 4 or a 5?
It's a 5.
Okay, Simmons is
placing
chugging
6 cup.
along.
Okay.
This is a delicate
All right,
challenge.
you're good, Andrew.
You're good, Maddie.
It's not about how fast you can go, but how careful.
Good, Dever.
Good, Austin.
Simmons rolling.
One
That's good,
his
Simmons.
6. If he
one
holds
tiny
this for
slip
5
up
seconds,
causes
he has it.
anyone to get back into the race.
Oh, Maddie has to reset.
Good.
Simmons
Good,
is wobbling.
Austin.
All right, you're good, Andrew.
1, 2, 3,
3,
4,
4,
5.
5.
Simmons
Wins individual immunity. Congratulations, Simmons, on winning individual immunity. You are safe from this tribal council, guaranteeing your spot in the final 5. For the rest of you, unfortunately, one of you will be the next member of our jury. Go scramble.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I would like to can we just end the scramble and go to tribal council?
Yeah. So
can.
Simmons does have the scramble round nullifier. So we are now officially in tribal council. So Alex.
Okay. Well, Final 6, seeing you a lot quicker than what was expected. Not only do we see Simmons winning another individual immunity, Simmons, you pulled a new advantage out, ending the scramble, not giving anyone any time to create new plans. Tell us about it.
I just felt like it was time to end the scramble this round. I don't know. I felt, I won the individual immunity challenge. I think I know where the votes might be going, and just didn't want any funny business.
Okay, well, in a world now where there is no scramble, people may know what the plan was heading in, and immunity can change that. So Zucker, does your plans or people that you're hearing change with the result?
I mean, from my perspective, I guess, in hindsight, it would have been nice to have had, being able to talk to people, because no secret, my name's been kind of brought up essentially every tribal. So I don't feel at ease in the game. I wanted to try and talk to some people that, maybe can make something happen. It is what it is, but from my perspective, who I feel is the person that I personally would want to go, it is maybe I don't know with other people's mindset, so it's hard to say, but it's just a lot to think about in a short amount of time.
And having people's mindset is important. In the mini format, when there's a scramble, plans can come in to the day, plans can quickly change. So Karen, how does that impact you heading into this vote tonight, where you had conversations most likely during the day, as all of you should have, but with no time to really confirm? Do you really know if the last thing you heard is that actually what's going to go down?
No. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling too comfortable here, but I don't really know what to say on that.
Well, with these type of votes too, they could get a little more wild. If there's a clear-cut plan, it doesn't matter that the scramble's done. Maybe it's just one of you's left in the dark. Or do we see a bunch of craziness here? Because this leaves no room for error. You must hit with precision. Andrew, how can you go about that when all you now have is tribal council?
Well, there was a plan. I wasn't brought in on it, which, it's fine. And all you can do in that situation is go the route of who you think might have been on the plan and just kind of hope that others do the same thing. If they don't, you make your apologies or you get voted out. Those are really our only 3 options right now. Vote correctly, vote wrong, or vote wrong and get voted out. So that's kind of how my strategy is right now. It's like, all right, well, if I wasn't brought in on anything, that's fine. If I go home, that's not fine, but it's fine. I'm not going to freak out on anyone. And if I vote wrong, I'll admit it. You have to vote wrong sometime, and this might be my first time. So we'll see what happens soon.
One other thing here is, while the end of Scramble was played, we have yet to see in this game, in the post-merge, an idol, any other type of advantages at a tribal that could really cause a surefire plan prior to a potential scramble to go wrong. Austin, how does that weigh in on your vote for this round?
Everything certainly weighs into a vote with this, right? You got to think that maybe a lot of them haven't been played. Either one of 2 things. Either we are the poorest excuses of all-stars that you've ever seen, Or maybe we took out the people that originally had them before they had a chance to know that they were on the table. So, or they could not have even been found in the first place. All retrospectives come into play. I just hope that you got to figure the people that, you made your forms to, you understand where you want to go, and hopefully the vote is the correct one.
So, Maddie, in your original season, there was a round where, because of how a vote went, a wheel had to be spun in order to send someone home. In a round like this, where now you can't firm up your plans, how comfortable are you and the rest of you feel of potentially going to a wheel? If one vote goes wrong, we could have a tie.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it's a huge risk, and take it from me, a sad way to leave the game. But I mean, it's so funny, Alex, to come in here and have all these quick challenge advantage played right away. I think in my opinion, hopefully that means we're getting into a really exciting day with the 6 of us. And that it'll be setting the tone for what comes next. And so I bet on the jury side is probably a fascinating one right now.
Now, before I get to the end of this, Simmons, you don't have to be involved. You have immunity. For the 5 of you, raise your hand if you feel like you're in danger tonight. Okay. I just want to see. I want to see how comfortable. I want to see how comfortable they are. No one hesitated. I like that. Your game is your life, and it can be snuffed very quickly. So you have to go for it. Simmons?
I just think there's some good actors in here right now.
You want to call them out?
No.
Oh, you're no fun. But with that, does anyone else have anything left to say before we get to the vote?
Speak now.
Or forever hold your torch as we snuff it. Okay. We're going to get to the vote.
First and foremost, I want to thank Macedonian Jesus for Austin Garsow. I'm going to go Austin Moorhead here. I just think of the people left, he's the most likely to be able to win a challenge. Other than Simmons, but he's not available to vote. I think Simmons is trying to get me out right here.
Like I said, I'm going to vote for someone I'm assuming was involved with this, maybe. I'm not expecting this person to actually go home. I am expecting Karen or Zucker to go home. I'm not going to vote for either one of them, and I'll just play it off as if, like, oh man, I guess you guys left me out of the vote, so I've got to get my acting chops ready. So I am voting for Madeline.
There's my vote. To the plan. As always. Gosh darn, it's good I gave Simmons that scramble yesterday.
I was cut out by you at the end of our game. You did not take me, so I do not assume that I will take you as well. So Karen, my vote is for you.
All right, I'll go tally the votes. If anybody has an advantage or hidden immunity idol and wants to play it, now would be the time to do so.
You know what, McKenna? I would like to not go home this round, so I will be playing my legacy advantage.
Karen does have the legacy advantage. Any votes for Karen will not count.
I'd also like to not go home this round, so I would like to play my hidden immunity idol.
Zucker does have a hidden immunity idol. Any votes count for Zucker. Any votes that are there for Zucker will not count.
Is this idol getting?
I'll read the votes. First vote. Karen does not count. Karen Does not count.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Karen. Does not count. Karen. Does not count. Maddie. That's 1 vote, Maddie. Austin. We have a tie. That's 1 vote, Maddie, 1 vote, Austin. As per the rules of the game, in the event of a tie, the players who are tied are safe, and the rest of the players will have their names on the wheel and go to rocks. Since Simmons has immunity, Karen played her advantage, and Zucker played his idol, Andrew, you unfortunately are the only eligible person to be eliminated. Andrew, in this case, the game has spoken.
Andrew, before you speak, I just want to give you kudos. This is a DCP first. We have never had a situation essentially that forced a Sari in the game. And I don't use that name lightly here. I want to give you all the congratulations in the world because you played a hell of a game.
I don't know who I had to be either Karen or Zucker beforehand. I was like, oh, I don't want to get Sarit out because they were like, well, what if we end up in an advantage get situation? And I said, yeah, but then I would be the one on the bottom because I don't do advantages. Yeah, it was a fun time, y'all. It's been a pleasure. I look forward to joining the jury, and good luck with the rest of the day. Thank you, DCP, for having me back out. I was shocked when you guys wanted me back out, and I feel like, and I hope that I made you proud. I tried to keep a smile on my face the entire time. I know I just broke here, but it'll be all right. And guys kill it the rest of the time. No, like I said, I was really appreciative of the fact that you guys invited me back. I hope that I hope that I did better. I feel like I did better, but we'll see how it really turns out. I'm rooting for everyone, you know. I have no ill will towards anyone. You know, the fact that yeah. I made history, so it's fine.